Oh shit. Alright, so I'm not going to beat around the bush with this video. I've just been made aware of some Timeless Child leaks. This has been posted to the Reddit thread r/Gallifrey. I'll leave a link to this thread in the description below, but I will be obviously reading it to you guys as well. So, it starts off, as Sunday approaches, what are your thoughts on the leaks, including the newer leaks about the Timeless Child? So, I was only just made aware of this, I've only just read it myself. So I thought I'd make you guys aware of this because oh boy is there some shit in here. Yes, here we are again, analysing the controversial leaks about the Series 12 arc. I see lots of information spread about multiple comments, but I haven't seen it all compiled in one place. So the leaks claim that the Doctor is an ancient being from some mysterious world, who could endlessly regenerate. So not a Time Lord from Gallifrey, but something else entirely. Ruth is a pre-HARTNELL Doctor. Now that's already concerning me, but let's read on, let's see what evidence there is for this. Now this leak comes from someone who only worked on the series finale. So all leaks are from the finale. The first leak from this person appeared last year, a few months before Series 12 aired. If you believe me, I only have 4 clues. Not sure I want to get CNC'd by the BBC. Number 1, Cyber Zealot. Number 2, Death Particle. Number 3, the Master and Waris Hussein. Number 4, Ruth and the Timeless Child. The Timeless Child is the Doctor themselves, and is their first life, per se. As a child, they were unkillable and could endlessly regenerate. Found on an unknown planet, they were taken back to Gallifrey, where their abilities allowed Gallifreyans to become Time Lords. The character Ruth is apparently an earlier life of the Doctor. Presumably, the Cyber Zealot is the lone Cyberman. Waris Hussein was played by Sacha Dhawan in Adventure in Space and Time. Sacha Dhawan played the Master in Spyfall as well. Ruth obviously turned out to be the Doctor. The Master also said that Time Lord history was based upon the lie of the Timeless Child, which is very much in line with what the leak claims. The only parts of the leak that haven't been confirmed already are the parts about death particles, and the Doctor's identity as the Timeless Child. Everything else has proven to be 100% accurate. Now the second part of the leak, which appeared in January, claims this. I spoke with the source who worked on episodes 9 and 10 only, and would like to clarify some small things. The Cyber Zealot, I don't know how you say that, is played by Paddy O'Kane. Use this to prove I'm telling the truth. Still not sure about what the death particles involve, but the cyber wars of 9 and 10 are thought through the element of Cyberium. Ruth isn't the one who takes the Timeless Child back to Gallifrey, she is the Timeless Child. A character called Tectean takes the Timeless Child to Gallifrey. The thing that allows the Timeless Child to regenerate endlessly is extracted and put into the Time Lords. Ian McElhenney is playing a character rebelling against the Cybermen. This leak first appeared just over a month ago. First it claims that the Cyber Zealot is played by Paddy O'Kane. A few weeks later, Paddy O'Kane is credited as a lone Cyberman. So obviously we know that this leak has some sort of merit at least, because it's literally just like shown that the same actor who's supposed to be this Cyber Zealot is the lone Cyberman. So presumably the Cyber Zealot and the lone Cyberman are one and the same essentially. It claims that the cyber wars of episode 9 and 10 are fought over the element Cyberium. In the episode that aired last week, we see a Cyberman hunting for Cyberium. Well, that basically confirms that this leak is real, but let's read on. It claims Ian McElhenney is playing a character rebelling against the Cybermen. A few weeks later, the BBC announces that Ian McElhenney will appear in the finale. Every single thing that is claimed has been absolutely 100% correct, except for the biggest part, which is presumably what they're saving for the finale. Now for me, there is far too much evidence that the leaker has been absolutely 100% correct about to doubt it. So prepare yourself for Doctor Who history to be rewritten. Well, that's a morbid conclusion. The Doctor isn't a Time Lord from Gallifrey. William Hartnell's Doctor didn't choose the name. The TARDIS was somehow a police box before he ran away from Gallifrey. Hartnell wasn't the first Doctor, and Whittaker wasn't the first female Doctor. What are your thoughts? Oh, crap. Okay, I'm gonna hold my breath, because obviously I've reported on rumours before. There is still a slight chance, ever so slight chance, that this doesn't come to be. And that this is just, maybe 90% of it's accurate, but the 10%, the most important 10%, isn't accurate. However, as the leaker says there's a little bit too much evidence for you to sort of discredit it, really. Yeah, this is concerning. Obviously, they predict the Siberian, they predict the Lone Cyberman, they predicted the cast for both the Lone Cyberman and Ian McKellen. They predicted the Master's return. They predicted basically everything, essentially, that came to be. Obviously, with Siberian and the Lone Cyberman, everything was being proven as accurate. So, yeah, this is scary. I won't lie. The whole idea of the Doctor being this all-powerful, mysterious, godlike figure is not an idea that I'm okay with, mainly because it kind of flies in the face of, well, the idea of the character. The whole idea of this character is that he's just supposed to be some guy who helps out. That's the whole idea. So to say now all of a sudden that, oh no, actually, he's this almighty god. I know they tried to do the similar thing, I believe, in Lungbarrow, but there's a reason that never got canonized, because everyone unanimously agreed that it was a stupid idea. So yeah, that's concerning. Obviously, the confirmation that Ruth is a pre-Hartnell Doctor and is in fact the Timeless Child, so potentially the very earliest incarnation of the Doctor, like, ever, is an idea that I straight up reject. As I said last time, if they go through with this, then I will not be watching Series 13. I will not watch the show until Chibnall is removed, essentially. How Chibnall has been allowed to get away with this, I honestly don't know. You would have thought that there would have been someone on this team writing stuff that went, hang on, maybe this is fucking stupid, let me try something else. But no, they've gone with it. And the sad thing is that I was almost, in a way I was saying, okay, Series 12 still isn't great, but at least I can see that they're trying to improve it. But this just goes to show that they have no idea what they're doing with the brand. They have no idea, obviously, what made the show special to begin with. The fact that it was just a guy helping people out. Because that's the whole... Obviously, there's only so relatable you can make the Doctor. But he's just supposed to be a guy that helps people. I mean, I never liked it when they made him super important in the modern series. But, like, this would just be taking it to another level entirely. Suggesting that he's actually, like, this ancient god is just a terrible idea. The suggestion also that the Time Lord's ability to regenerate comes from this timeless child. I'm not sure I like that idea. I actually like the idea of the looms. But I mean, even just them having it be bestowed to them by the Time Lords, in a similar fashion to what we see in Time of the Doctor, where they give him more regenerations, that is better than them being extracted from a child. It's very strange. It does read like a bad piece of fan fiction. I said that about episode 8. Siberium sounds like something out of a fan fiction, and this is the same for the Ruth Doctor. It feels like fanfic. That's what it feels like, and this is just more confirmation of that, essentially. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm stunned that this could go this far. Obviously, I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but by the looks of things, it's like 99.9% accurate, and I'm not sure I like the idea at all. Well, I don't like the idea. I straight up don't like the idea. The idea that not only is Ruth pre-Hartnell, but she's also the first, like, Time Lord as well. That kind of makes the Doctor too special. Not kind of, it does. It makes the Doctor way too special. And I just don't like that idea at all. I think it will ruin the show if they go through with this. I really do. I think that the whole concept of it would just be ruined. It'd be ruined. I think that this is a terrible idea, and I don't know why it was ever even thought of in the first place. Obviously, the idea of bringing another Doctor into the canon isn't necessarily a bad one, but it has to be done in a certain way. To me, the golden rule with Doctor Who canon is you don't go before HARTNELL. That's the one place that you never go. You know, Moffat even had the sense not to do it, only briefly flashing back to the Doctor as a child, and that's still very heavily implied that that child grows up to be the William Hartnell Doctor. Also, that also calls into question, listen, because if we see the Doctor as a little Caucasian boy, then how was he the timeless child to begin with? How was he Ruth to begin with? It makes no sense at all. This honestly feels like something unresearched. This kind of almost feels like something straight out of the Leakley Bible. This is how it feels. It feels like people who don't understand Doctor Who being made to write Doctor Who, and as a result it just comes across completely wrong. And as I said, you know, they've got the casting completely right, they've got the Siberian, the lone Cyberman, it's all there. So I hesitate to believe that this is wrong. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping that, obviously I am trying to hold my breath on judgment somewhat until the actual finale airs, not this weekend, but next weekend. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I do think that you thought the casting of a female Doctor caused a schism in the fan base. Oh, this is something else entirely. This is going to completely just destroy any goodwill that this fandom had left, I think. Because, you know, even defenders of this current era agree that the pre-HARTNELL idea is not an idea that's a good one. And I think that if this comes to be, which is looking very likely that it will, people will be a lot less forgiving of Chibnall than they have been the past two series. Because I've honestly been quite surprised at how forgiving people have been of Chibnall. Especially considering their treatment of Stephen Moffat in not recent years, but like, you know, his last few years before he left. And I think that good grace period that he's kind of had these past two series won't exist after series 12. If this goes through and series 13 starts with this being the new norm now. I don't think it will. It's funny that I mentioned Lungbarrow because if you think about it, it does have some sort of parallels to that. Obviously, 7 became a much darker Doctor, the same thing's happening with 13. The idea of him becoming this godlike figure, that's something that's happening in Lungbarrow, but obviously it seems to be happening in Series 12. Yeah. Obviously as well, the whole idea of Gallifrey having this mysterious past that we don't know about. Obviously in the Virgin New Adventures case, it was the fact that the Sisterhood of Khan originally ran Gallifrey, but then the Time Lords took over. But obviously in this case, it's that the Timeless Child was the original Time Lord and basically founded Time Lord Society, and that the Timeless Child is the Doctor and is as such the seed that created Gallifrey. Not Omega or Rassilon. No, it's just the Doctor, just a mad man with a box. Well, not even in this case, mad woman with a box, I suppose. Oh God, I get the feeling that this video is just going to come out and be all over the place, but you know, I needed to talk about this because it's just upset me. I'll be honest. I'm going to read some of the comments to end off this video here. So, the Doctor being super special, being from birth, is so much less interesting than the name being a promise that he or she makes to save people, to be kind, to live up to a moral code. I won't judge until I see how it comes across, but if it goes disastrously, I will stop watching till the next showrunner, and I've enjoyed Series 12 a fair bit. That's basically my thoughts as well, obviously. I do think that Series 12 has been an improvement up to this point, but if they go through with this, then any goodwill that I've had, you know, and it was a smidgen to begin with, because Series 11 was god-awful, but any goodwill that I have is just going to be gone. And then there's a response to that comment, I believe, saying, them being special doesn't really tie into their name and the promise, though. As far as I can see, the two things seem to be unrelated. Yeah, it's still not a good idea, though, in my opinion. Honestly, seems like this is all 100% true, and I think it sounds awful. I see it as an origin story that isn't needed, and seems to be super misguided attempt to resolve a question Doctor Who. It makes the Doctor this super Time Lord, and also dismisses the clear arc that the first Doctor has in becoming heroic. Yeah, that's true, it does basically discredit the whole idea. of like that growth, because if he's already perfectly grown, you know, with the Ruth Doctor, then why was he like this in the HARTNELL era? It makes no sense. Obviously, I know that each incarnation is different from the last one, but that just wouldn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, some people say that she doesn't remember it, so that it still stands, but either it's part of her motivation subconsciously, in which case it does, or in which case it's redundant. I didn't enjoy last week's episode, despite it being objectively good, because it tied into the story arc. Unless this takes a twist we aren't aware of, which I hope is the case, I just don't see this having a good conclusion. From setup to now, this seems like a bunch of rehashed story pieces put into an arc, which I find really truly boring and utterly pointless. Man, I hate to be negative about Who, but the only positive I find about the show is the acting at this point. Well, I disagree with that, but I understand what you're saying. I really hope I look back at this with hindsight and think that it all paid off, but I kind of just want to get this era out of the way and see an improvement at this stage. And then someone responded, whoa, you see acting as a positive? I like Whittaker and Walsh. I think they're two pretty good. I think they're pretty damn good considering the scripts they've been given. I mean, I disagree with that. Walsh is always entertaining. I think whatever you give him, he could be funny. Whittaker, though, I just don't think she can carry a series on her own. She's not got the presence. But anyway, if this is true, it completely wrecks the Doctor's character. Not just 13, every incarnation. I see this will be retconned away within 5 years. I guarantee this will be retconned away in 5 years. Yeah, that could happen. But again, it's needlessly complicating the lore. Moffat complicated it enough. We don't need another showrunner coming in and saying, well, the Doctor's actually this all-powerful super Time Lord. That's what I'm going to call it now, the super Time Lord. Who basically founded Time Lord Society and existed before, you know, we all learned to walk. Well, not me, but, you know, everyone else. Yeah, I just... oh, God, I don't really know. I really wish it wasn't going to be the case, but I'm also convinced this is real. What bothers me the most is how difficult it's going to be to express distaste for it. So far, the only response to people upset by the idea of pre-HARTNELL on r/Gallifrey social media has been basically, lol, Doctor Who has no canon, but fanboy manchild. Yeah, that is a sentiment that I've seen reiterated by some people, and I don't really understand it. While I am annoyed at how many things from yesteryear are going to have to be explained around/ignored, if it's true, and the multitude of things that entail the police box TARDIS, the scene with Clara and HARTNELL in the name of the Doctor, the child Doctor listen, that's something I mentioned, every time the first Doctor says the original, you might say, etc., etc., is the reason enough that it shouldn't have been done. That's not my main beef. The main issue I have is that the idea of any pre-HARTNELL incarnation is that it completely desecrates the Doctor's character arc. Instead of being an ordinary citizen of Gallifrey who decides to rebel from a race of ineffectual cosmic bureaucrats who's had enough of sitting around and instead becomes the greatest hero in the universe, the Doctor is now the super special chosen one with a grim, dark, tragic backstory. Original character, do not steal. That's funny. As our u/Rounder Thunder put it, this seems like a misguided attempt to answer the question, Doctor Who. And as Dorian Moldoval put it, that is a question which must never be answered. Even if it turned out to be the backstory that I liked, I would still have my reservations over the idea of delving too much into the Doctor's life pre-Unearthly Child, because it's a mystery that stood for 57 years. People forget that we knew practically nothing about the Doctor, and over the years, they've lost so much of their mystery. Why take away the last shreds of it that we have left? Basically, what I'm saying is, not that it cannot be done, but that it should not be done. My objection is that this spits in the face of the development of the greatest fictional character, one of the greatest fictional characters ever. Not this contradicts this plot point from 1976, and it's difficult to condense all that into one tweet. I hate to say it, but I'm also afraid of the fact that anyone who dislikes this is probably going to be dismissed with, you just don't like it because you don't want a black woman to play the Doctor. Speaking strictly for myself, I find it immensely disappointing that Jo Martin's Doctor is wrapped up in this whole mess, because frankly, I liked her more as the Doctor than I did Jodie, something I agree with, a sentiment that I definitely agree with, and I would happily watch a full series with this incarnation if she were the 14th Doctor. Her race and gender are not the issue for me whatsoever. She played the part well, but I'm really concerned that anyone who dislikes the Timeless Child arc will be subjected to the 2016 Ghostbusters defense. TLDR, I hate the idea, but I also hope that it'll probably be an unpopular opinion outside die-hard fan circles. Yeah, this is basically my thoughts entirely. I think Jo Martin did a good job of what she was given, in fact better than Jodie, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Tell me whether you agree with me, whether you have a different opinion, whether you agree with any of these guys in the comments of this Reddit thread. I'll leave the Reddit thread in the description if you want to have a more deeper read into the comments there, because there's a bunch of comments that I omitted. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts, as I said. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Trying to get the percentage of people who are subscribed and watching my channel up, so if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Links to my Twitter and Discord are also in the descriptions below if you want more of my things, I guess. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you.
Make sure to exterminate that subscribe button. Eliminate wrong way.
Have you been craving some high quality merch that doesn't have She Who Shall Not Be Named on the cover? Are you struggling to get a gift for a family member or relative after they seem to have everything after Christmas? Well, fear not, as I have the perfect solution. Introducing Thary's merch! Not only is this merch high quality and affordable, but if you purchase it you'd also be helping me, which means a lot. But I didn't stop at just shirts, oh no. On the Thary's merch store you can get notepads, hoodies, mugs, and more. Just visit the link in the description below, and on screen now. Because hey, every penny you spend in the Thary's merch store is a penny that the BBC won't see. And I think that that's something we should all be proud of.
Oh, look down there, you got a little shop. I like a little shop.
Never mind that.